Okay, gang, we're going to be up and going shortly here. And let's get my chat window going. Oh my goodness, I closed all my tabs. This is going to take a minute, folks. Stand by. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, folks. K1 Green Mountain Maniac, K1GMM. I'm just going to share a few thoughts regarding HF propagation and what we currently have happening. We have a big mess happening, and I do have anyone watching the stream who's connected to the All-Star system. Unfortunately, this is a first, and this is going to be a little tricky. So I have an All-Star system up and running. Anyone watching? It is also Echolink enabled. You can find it under K1GMM-L. And if you have an Echolink account, you can connect into K1GMM-L. And we're going to try a roundtable streamed using All-Star / Echolink with a few of my friends here. So anybody listening, I'm going to go ahead and bring that online shortly here, but I'm going to need to monitor the system, make sure it's clear before I link it into the stream. So we have some friends across the pond: G7RHF, Al, maybe Mark, W1MBF, possibly John, W2JON, and who knows who else. So we're going to give this a run and see what happens. But anyways, let me get the ball rolling here before I link everybody else in. There's some things I wanted to go over really quick. First of all, I wanted to say that I am no authority on this whatsoever. I know very little, but I'm just going to share my experience with what is happening with the geomagnetic field around our planet, as well as what's going on with our star currently. So what we have, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen. Let me go to the desktop. So I'm going to pull up the desktop here. Okay. So let me preface this with something. We are at the bottom of solar cycle 24. You can do all the reading on this. This is basically geared towards new hams. And I can't tell you how many times I hear people talk about, say something like, well, boy, the band's really crappy tonight or today or whatever, and don't know what's going on. Well, being at the bottom of solar cycle 24, there's one thing I found that severely affects propagation. And we're talking not necessarily the short hops on 40, 75 meters, 80 meters, whatever. Sometimes 20 meters. When you get these weird conditions where you can be talking to someone 100 to 200 miles away at 20/9. We just saw this like a week ago, a couple weeks ago, as well as the UK saw this. Now, I'm in the northeastern part of the country. Okay, I'm up here in the state of Vermont. Now, a geomagnetic storm, which is what we currently have running, this can be caused by a myriad of things. Coronal hole high-speed streams are very common. We went through a period in the past couple months, and current date is 27 August 2018, because this is going to be saved to YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and let this run to YouTube render, so this will be posted on here. So in the past couple weeks, we've seen very unusual conditions on 20 meters. Where, and I know the folks over, my friends in the UK have seen the same thing, where they, like in the UK, in Britain, they've been talking to Scotland, which is only, 200 to 400 miles away. Very strange on 20 meters. What we have happening now, I was listening on 40 yesterday, and I heard someone say, oh, there's, yeah, the bands are really in rough shape. And I'll show you why. So if you look at the screen here, this is a great website just for a quick snapshot. It's SWPC, Space Weather Prediction Center. It's where I go to for a quick glance. If you scroll down, you'll see this right here, the K index. This I have found, now again, I'm no expert, but I have found this to be the most important factor in band conditions. There's also the A index, there's also the sunspot number. Now, in relation to sunspot number, I have a friend in Florida that I often talk about. His name's Bob. I haven't spoken to him in quite a while. He was a professor in astrophysics. He knows what he's talking about. And he schooled me on a lot of this stuff in layman's terms, because it's all I can understand. But we are at the bottom of the cycle. Now, if you see 10.7 centimeter radial flux, so let me pull this up. This is something I look at. and geomagnetic indices. If you look at this number right here, 69, 67, 68, this is directly relative to the sunspots. There's a couple things I'm going to touch on that I stumbled upon that I was not aware of, that you folks may have heard, which is total bunk. So I'm going to dispel some myths, and it's depressing news. So basically, when you see this radial flux, 10.7 centimeter radial flux, and this is sub 70, this is really bad regarding long distance multi-hop propagation. Okay, conditions have been okay, you know, when it's been in the 70s, upper 60s. I've heard Dubai, Middle East coming into the Northeast here. Can't quite figure out why. And the reason why I say that is when you see this number at 140, literally twice what it is right now, that is theoretically poor to moderately poor conditions. Okay? So when you see the radial flux at 70, there should be nothing happening. Don't ask me what is up. We've had extensive discussions about this. I mean, friends of mine, most of my friends have been in the hobby much longer than I have. So I'm trying to get my head around this stuff. So when you turn the HF rig on and you swear to God your coax is ripped out of the back of the radio, this right here, this right here is probably the reason. Now this is a result of either a coronal mass ejection, a massive solar flare, like if you look here, the GOES X-ray flux. You see these spikes? This is an extremely active situation. And when you see this index, let me just explain this. When you see this index go to a 7, it was a 6 about an hour ago. Now it's a 5. This is bad news. Basically our geomagnetic field has absorbed a tremendous amount of energy from our star, and it really messes things up. You'll see things like air traffic control problems at airports. You'll see power grid failures, stuff like that. This energy needs to be dissipated somehow, and it makes its way into our ionosphere, and it really messes the HF propagation up severely. Let me give you a quick snapshot. So let me minimize this. This is what's going on 20 meters right now. Now this, at this time of the day, is normally roaring. Okay? And bring the volume up a little bit. Bye-bye. Now this is Lou out of Spain. This is bad. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is Lou out of Spain. If you watch the meter right here on the radio, it ain't moving hardly. This band is closed. He's the only one you hear aside from up on 320 here. Who knows that is. But normally that's these signals are way up in here. We're talking S9. So theoretically 20 meters is closed here in the Northeast. So let me turn this down. That's a picture of what the geomagnetic storms can do. Let me pull up, let me pull this up again. Okay, so now here's another thing regarding this, and I have seen this, and this is something I'm going to touch on. I had my friend Bob tell me, and I'm just sharing experiences. This is not science. I don't even know if it's fiction, but I'm going to just share it, something for you to watch. When you get a K index at this level, this is severe. This is a G3 geomagnetic storm. That's a severe storm. That right here, this area, and this is supposed to last for 3 days. So you're talking, it's Monday, And this started yesterday, about probably 1 a.m. in the morning, Sunday. And this is supposed to last through Wednesday. And I have personally seen it wipe out HF conditions when it does this over multiple days for literally 10 days straight, literally close the band in the Northeast. Now, from what I understand, the reason why is conditions will recover quicker the closer you get to the equator. And it has something to do with the speed at which the Earth is spinning. The speed at which the Earth is spinning close to the equator, it actually spins faster. Also, the atmosphere is actually thinner. So if you think about it, the inertia of the Earth turning at the equator is actually thinner. Now, here's something I have found to be 100% true, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Whenever you have a geomagnetic storm like this, a pop, all is not lost. Pay attention to it. The band may be closed, but as the storm begins to wane, you'll look right here. You'll look right here, and you'll see how it drops from a K index of 5 down to a 3, and then down to a 2. That's a good time to be on the radio. So don't shut the radio off. Leave it on, because oftentimes, my friend Bob told me, and I've seen this to be true, you'll get these weird openings as the ionosphere is beginning to stabilize, and it could last a matter of seconds or minutes to places that you don't normally hear. So all is not lost. Definitely, keep the rig on and do some surfing, do some listening, but be ready to pounce. And I've seen it before. It's absolutely true. Okay, moving on. A couple sites I want to bring to your attention. SolarHam. This is a great one for quick snapshots. There's a ton of information you can get online. If you want to go deep, you can go as deep as you want. I don't, because it's just too much for my brain to grasp. Another one on YouTube. This is Suspicious Observers. I want to point you to the latest post. This was this morning. It was posted 11 hours ago. Phenomenal presentation, and they debunk the myth that basically we've already started in the new cycle. So let me respond to these guys. There's been some chatter that we are entering the uptick of the new cycle. That is not true, according to these guys, and I believe them because they're never wrong. They're never wrong. This is a remarkable site. Check it out every single morning. It'll give you a snapshot of what's going on with our star and the ionosphere and the magnetosphere and all the other stuff regarding propagation in our planet. It's phenomenal. Can't speak highly enough about it. Anyways, they debunk the myth that we are entering into solar cycle 25. We're already starting the uptick. They've cited, I don't know if you guys have heard this, they've cited some sunspots which are new. They actually aren't new. They've been there for a long time, and they go into it in depth in there. All I can say is watch it. It's fascinating. It's worth it. If you're into radio and you want to understand what's going on, check them out. Done with that. Go to SWPC and read about geomagnetic storms. It's on their Space Weather Prediction Center site. It's phenomenal. It'll help you get a grip on when you think your coax is ripped out of the back of the radio. Yes, Al, we're in solar cycle, bottom of solar cycle 24, and you can read about the Maunder minimum and all the other stuff going on. All right, that's done. I covered pretty much everything I can cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring All-Star in right now. Let me check the status. Status is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and link All-Star, and I'm going to open the floor up, and you guys can come on in. Anybody listening, I'm going to just let the stream roll, and I'll key up if I have to. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if this mic is active on that. So here we go. I'm going to initiate connection right now to IXRPT. It's going to live stream, and I'm going to put a call out, and I'm going to make sure the system's clear for this. Stand by, everybody. K1GMM, we are now live streaming to YouTube, and anybody listening, feel free to jump in. We are talking about space weather and other things like that. You can find my live stream on K1GMM on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and click on the live stream, and you will be heard and access it through this link here, All Star. I'll go and open up the floor. I'm listening. You guys go for it. K1GMM.
K1GMM, W1MBS. All right, very good. Well, I'm going to drop real quick, make sure I'm not doubling. Okay, Steve, that's great. The stream looks really good. It's nice and clear. Yeah, this is something that I need to learn. For those of you that don't know, I'm a new hand, got my general last December. So yeah, this is good stuff, man. This is like a seminar, a live YouTube seminar. I'm afraid to turn up the audio. I probably should put my headphones on. That would probably help. I guess with being on the node as well. But anyways, great stuff, Steve, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it and monitor, let somebody else in there. But this is very interesting stuff, especially for me, because I'm just eager to make a contact on 6 meters. So that'll give you something to think about. But yeah, being a new hand, yeah, this is something that I really need to focus on. W1MBF.
Hey, Mark. Let me, actually, you know, I'm going to have to do it this way, I think. Let me know if the audio is okay. Good to hear you, man. Thanks for jumping in. And I know Mark is a good friend of ours from down in Rhode Island. He just got his G5 RV up a couple days ago. And of course, kind of tongue-in-cheek here, every single time I do some antenna work, we get a big geomagnetic storm and it wipes the bands out for like a week. So you took a page out of my playbook there, Mark. Yeah. Like I said, I'm no expert. Anybody listening, feel free to jump in and join the discussion. Again, you're live streaming to YouTube. K1GMM. Okay, so I got to get the headphones off because of the latency. VK3EME keyed up, but there was no audio. Okay, Rick, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and remove IXRPT, and I'm going to use the HT to stream live here. I think, Rick, K2GB, did you key up there? Oh, no, you're not connected now. So I'm going to actually use the HT to live stream and take the feed from the HT, and then I'll hold the speaker up to the microphone because IXRPT is acting weird. Can't get that one figured out, but hey, we'll go with it. Yeah, Mark, tell us about your system, what you're running there. Share it with everybody who's watching, and tell us a little bit about yourself. You might as well, dude. W1MBF, K1GMM.
K1GMM from W1MBS in the group. Rick, if you're in there, how you doing? Good afternoon. It is hot. 86 degrees here in Rhode Island on Aquidneck Island, but not too awful humid, so we're lucky there. But should be cooling down here pretty soon. Yeah, the shack, we're just getting started. Like I said last December to get my general license. So we started off with the Yaesu FP450 and a little MFJ IntelliTuner, then a G5RV up on top of the row of maple trees here behind the house. 102 foot in flat top configuration with 450 ohm ladder line coming down out of the trees. Probably about 50 feet of ladder line, I'm thinking. And that's it. I've got a little 2-meter set up, ICOM IC229H for 2-meter for the local club and the local network here in Rhode Island. The RCI network 2-meter. I want to add a 220 radio as well, because I'm interested in 220. There's a lot of 220 repeaters. Nobody's using them. And just like the old guys have been telling me, if you don't use it, you lose it. So that's what I got, a little Baofeng radio for portable use, using a MB100 microphone on a boom with a spit sock. And yeah, that's it. And I've got using the M radio Deluxe into the Yaesu FP450, and that just I'm like a kid at Christmas with that stuff. I'm just very excited about that. So as a new ham, I can't get enough. The guys joke and they call me Pac-Man. So I think I'm blabbed enough. I'll turn it back over to Steve. Very good. This is fun stuff. W1MBS.
Hey, K1GMM. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Mark, share really quick, because this is an issue I have. You mentioned your Logitech speakers when we were on the key before, and this may be of value to anyone watching. I think we may, I don't know if you have the same Logitechs that I have, but you don't get that anymore, that noise through your Logitechs. Al says, thank God for VHF. Yeah, no kidding. Amen, brother. Share a little bit about what you had going on with your Logitech computer speakers, because that's an issue I have. It doesn't happen on 40. It happens on 40 if I throw power at it, at the array up back. If I bring the power output up to 400 or more, I have to shut the speakers off. On 75, 80 meters, oh yeah, dude, I cannot run. I have to shut the speakers right down. Yeah, I don't want the stream, I don't want the stream to be depressing, but it is a reality we must face, and maybe I'll chat a little bit about that too, coming up here. Maybe a subject for another day, but I don't know. I think we can talk about it, because Al's got some good points. Al, jump in here. Talk about the VHF thing, what you do across the pond. There are new hams that watch, so I don't want to make it sound depressing or anything like that. So go ahead, Mark. Tell a little bit about how you resolve the issue with the Logitech speakers, and then I'll open it up and see if Al wants to jump in. Maybe talk about the contesting, different options for folks if they're a technician, class license holder, or foundation. Seeing as how this is about propagation and space weather, and we are coming into the minimum. So Al says I'm shy. Right, handsome fellow. Go ahead, Mark. K1GMM.
All right, K1GMM from W1MBS, the group. Al, you are a character. All right. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, with this whole Logitech speaker thing, You know, it's crazy. And I don't know, here's the thing, is I don't know whether it was the fact that I moved the computer from the right side of the desk, you know, and had, you know, let me back up for a second. When I originally set this up, my cat cable wouldn't reach the computer. So I was using a straight through, you know, DD9, I guess it is. And that was working. It would kind of disconnect semi-frequently. But man, if I went to the upper reaches of 40 meters, I could hear myself over the speakers. But man, if I went to 80 or, you know, 75, I would just get this blast. It was like, you would think that with the sound that it made, it would almost sound like, you know, you blew them up, you broke them. But you just couldn't transmit. And I was just keying down on the foot pedal. That wasn't even adding audio. So I was determined, let me add the second part to that. So aside from that issue, we had some bad storms over the winter that broke my G5 RV in half. Okay, so I don't know whether I had something funky in Chinatown going on with the G5 up in the trees. I don't know. But anyway, so this year, repaired the G5, over-engineered it, killed it in that department with my neighbor who got me into him. And we'll name drop on that, W1WBB, Bill, my mentor here. So anyway, so we put the G5 RV back up. Geez, I don't know, upper side of 40, 50 feet. I'm not sure. I got to figure out a way to measure that. But anyways, make a long story short, you know, so it's perfect. The ladder line comes out of the trees, comes right directly into the tuner. Was able to put the cat cable into the computer. You know, I was very meticulous with running all the wires and stuff for the radio and for the computer. And now I've got nothing. The Logitech speakers are still on my desk, and nothing comes over. No interference on 80, 75, 40. It's clean as a bell. So clear as a bell. So I'm not sure. Being a new ham, I don't know. Is it the computer end of it, the relocation, or is it something with the G5? But there's the timeout timer. The only other thing I want to add is 6 meters with the G5 RV. I've got like a 1.2, 1.3, you know, depending on where I'm at, and I'm tickled pink with that. So I'll unkey it here. I've been blabbing long enough. Go ahead, Steve. W.
Yeah, VK3EME. I can barely hear you in there, dude. Barely. Your audio is right down in the mud. Not sure what you got going on there. If you need me to drop the link, go ahead and do that. Yeah, I don't know if I can get your audio up enough to actually make it audible in the system there. Over. Okay, everybody stand by. I'm going to drop the EME link. I cannot hear him at all. He's got some audio issues there. So let me drop the link. Had some. I think that was the one that was keying up. No, he's gone. Good. Adios, amigos. Such is life. Anyways, no love loss. I'm awful, aren't I? Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, thank you, Mark, I'm going to make a pass through 40 meters. I'm going to check to see if there's any DX and see what happened here. See if there's anything happening based upon the, let me pull up the, take a look, see if the K index is updated or not. It's still level 5, so there's no update. So we're going to take a look around. Usually at this time, current time, 640. 640, so there should be DX rolling in on 40. So we'll take a listen and see if there's any DX coming in. I'm going to go ahead, let the system go unkeyed here, and we're just going to do a little surfing around, see what's going on. K1GMM.
KA3, okay. KW1C, very good, big signal, and yeah, thanks for stopping by. Sorry everybody can't hear you, but the band is like that tonight.
How come Denny's so weak?
Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, good night, John. See you later, John. WF8I from Toodly-Doo.
What are you mumbling about, Jerry? I said, how come you're so weak tonight?
I don't know. I probably am saving power. Hey, Jerry, give us an update on the contractor.
Okay, we're pointed at Europe.
This is coming in a couple of weeks, a little more. Call to make an appointment in 7 weeks.
The QSO, good DX to you.
Oh, there's
9Z4Y, Fox 6, Charlie, Tango.
oh. F6 CTT is in.
Good DX to you, okay, for the second QSO. Bye-bye. QSZDX, Florida 6, Charlie, Tango.
That's actually a really good signal. He is an S9 plus, pushing +5. He's just in the red. So that's not bad. That's not bad. So, you know, for the folks stateside here who are general class operators, you do have 7178 to 7200 where you will find DX in. Unfortunately, he's at 7160, so he's out of your band privilege, hence the reason to upgrade to extra. If you want to know the honest truth, that's the only reason I upgraded to extra, is so I can get into the DX portion of the band. I really could care less about anything else, because this, once you go to extra, you get access to everything.
That Alpha Bravo 9 Kilo Delta.
Let's take a rundown. There's really nothing else, as you can see on the screen. Let me pull the desktop all the way up.
4x5, and the name is Joseph. Alpha Bravo 9 Kilo Delta. Fox.
So we'll check here. Yep, he's it. That's not too bad out of France.
He'd be in Portsmouth by now.
Should be better.
7 times over.
So anyways, we are going to wrap this up. This pretty much concludes the propagation space weather stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, everybody who's watching. I was kind of hoping more people would jump in, but we will catch y'all later. Say 7-3, and you guys everybody have a good evening. I'll look for you again. It's a great topic, and I'm thinking about doing more. Maybe if we can get some more activity, if I can figure out a way to Zello a stream in or something like that, or use the link. The All-Star link is perfectly fine. Get a nice round table going with a discussion. That'd be awesome. Anyways, don't be afraid to share your thoughts. And like I said, I'm no I'm no expert. I know very little about this stuff. I was just sharing things I've observed. So that's it. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you all later. I'll be closing the stream. 7-3.